the theme for today, I wrote down, what is it that we feel? So I want to explore different kind of emotions and what they could mean, what is the body actually trying to tell us with, for example, fear or sadness or happiness. And also, it's good to stop labeling emotions, like negative emotions, as bad, and trying to push them away, because they always comes with a message. All emotions are good. The entire universe is actually good, even though it doesn't look that way always. But it's always, everything that happens is for our better good. It is trying to give us guidance. So in our body, if we feel really bad, it's a sign that we are on the wrong track, that we need to do something different. It's the same in the world. If we see a really destructive world with lots of fear and negative things going on, we should take that as information that we need to do something very different. So the emotions in themselves are just really helpful guidance. They are here to help us. So no one is live today, it seems. So I cannot just use your questions. I need to use my notes. And something I also like to say that often, or maybe I'll wait with that one. So just let's go through a few emotions and look at them, and then maybe we can see a pattern from there. So for example, if we feel pain, the sensation pain. So maybe it's first, what is an emotion? What is a sensation? It's energy in motion, emotion. So all the sensations we can feel in our body, we can only feel emotions in our body or actually in someone else's body. We can feel that too, it's possible if you are an empath. But otherwise, all the emotions you feel in your body, it's energy moving in different ways. It can be a sensation of energy being stuck in a certain area of your body, or the sensation of heat, which is energy moving. It can be a sensation of tingling, or like when you are in love, you feel like butterflies in your belly. So emotions, it's not a mental concept. It becomes a mental concept when we try to translate what we feel in the body, in our brain. But emotions are energy moving in our body, in our pranic body. So we are all actually very sensitive to energy. It's not like a certain skill that some people have. Some people are more sensitive or can, through yoga, meditation, become more sensitive to energy. But we all feel energy. We all know what sadness feels like. We all know anger. We all know disappointment. We all know, so, for example, if we feel pain, how could that feel like? So when you feel pain, physical pain, it feels sharp. It feels usually very located to one area of the body. It can feel, I think the best way to describe it, like, even though you are not live, let me know, how do you feel pain? It would be really nice if everyone that does the class writes, like, how do you feel pain? Maybe like pulsating sensation, heat, coolness, But I don't think it's usually coolness. So a sharp sensation in your knee or the entire leg, but it's sharp. And what does that mean? Pain means be aware, pay attention. You're like, if it's really bad, it's like, pay attention. You're about to lose your leg if you don't do anything about this. You need to find someone that can help you repair the leg. So it asks for attention and for action, or for some kind of action, but it can also be like, quit doing that. It's also an action to stop doing what you do. So when you feel pain in your body, translate it this way: pay attention and try to see what this kind of pain is trying to tell you. Is it a knee pain when you try to do the lotus posture where you do yoga? Pay attention. You're not doing it right. But it can also be, for example, after yoga, a more diffuse, can you say that in English? Like not that sharp pain. But still that is something that wants your attention. It can be like a pain in your neck, so maybe you need to start using a different pillow. Maybe that's what the body tries to tell you. Or maybe you shouldn't carry all those heavy bags only on one shoulder. Maybe you should get a proper backpack if you have this like neck pain. So it can be a pain that culminates over a longer period of time, and then you feel pain, and then you need to change your behavior. Pain, pay attention. And it usually feels kind of sharp. And when I know that I briefly mentioned like pain and pleasure and comfort in last class, but I want to dive deeper into them. So when you feel comfortable, or even pleasure, it's like different scales, like comfort, pleasure. It means this is safe. This is safe. You're safe here. So it's kind of like, you're good. And nothing that you need to do much about. The tricky thing with comfort and feeling safe is that it easily becomes an addiction. That you want more and more of this comfortable, pleasurable sensation. And that you try to avoid what's painful. And that's a survival mechanism, which has its purpose. But when we don't really look deeper into what those emotions tell us, and we just hunt the comfort and pleasure. Like if we once had a really nice experience, we went to Greece, the sun was shining, it was the perfect holiday, and then we want to repeat that. So, and we don't want the rainy, cold Swedish summer we once experienced. So we try to avoid that. Like, I don't know if you can say that's a painful experience, but it's not the same kind of pain I talked about before. But maybe we can say it's discomfort. It was cold and the family was arguing, everyone was in a bad mood. The Swedish rainy summer. And we want that Greece, heat, everyone was happy. We want that experience. So when you try to hunt certain experiences and run away from others, that's the recipe for pain, actually. So when you become attached to pleasurable emotions and afraid of painful emotions, then you're trapped in the wheel of karma. This is a different class, so maybe that's what we do next week. I write it here. Karma. Then everything is potentially painful, because if you manage to earn the money to go to Greece and to the sim resort and everything, you maybe end up there and you get your period and you are in pain the entire week, or it's raining in Greece, or the hotel is not as good as you remembered it last time, or it's good again, but then when you're about to leave, that's painful. Because then you are attached to this Greece experience, and then when you're about to leave it, you feel pain because it's ending, and that's what you want. So with comfort, the best thing you can do is to try to be in the moment and know that everything is ending. So you enjoy this comfort now. You're not trying to secure it, because then you lose it, kind of. Then it's actually transformed into fear of losing your comfort. So the most, many very wealthy people are actually more afraid and more suffering, because they are so afraid to lose their wealth, because then they don't know who they are. So, yeah. Fear. I think fear is a really interesting emotion. So, fear is a little bit like pain, because it calls for your attention, it calls for your alertness. If pain is more like calling for action, you need to change something, you need to look into something, you need to understand something. The body is like, if it would have been a dog, if you would have been a dog, or the body would have been a dog, it would be like yelling, look, I'm hungry, you need to do something. Fear is more like, it wants your alertness. Like, come on, be alert, this is important. You need to understand your surroundings here. You need to be alert. So fear can be like walking through a park in darkness. And then it's once again connected to previous experiences. So if you once experienced or read in the papers about an experience someone had in a dark park, then it's very easy that you experience fear walking through a dark park. So it doesn't have to have anything to do with reality. That's the tricky thing with fear. But anyway, it calls for your alertness. You start to like being aware of your surroundings, and you see someone walking and you're like, oh, is that a threat? Or oh no, it was just another person. No threat. When it becomes interesting with fear is when we understand that it's the same thing. If it's something that you really want to do, you really want to make that speech at your brother's or sister's wedding, or you really want to get that job and go into that job interview, then we would label the feeling being nervous. But it's the same emotion if we feel how it feels in the body as fear. And if your nervousness gets out of hand, then I think you would describe it as fear. But it's more a matter of perspective. So then we can take it one step further and say that this, like, oh, you need to be alert now for this job interview, or you need to practice this song or rehearse this speech because it's important for you. It feels important, and you get nervous, but it's more of like, this is important to your heart, to your soul, to do this as best, with the best of your ability. And that's actually the same feeling as excitement. So when you feel really excited, like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun, and when you label it exciting, then you also feel secure. Then you trust in yourself, you trust in the universe, you're not afraid of failure. So if we strip away the fear of failure from fear and nervousness, then we are left with excitement. So actually, when I find myself in, like, sometimes I can be afraid of the darkness. And when I know there's no apparent threat, I try to play with my emotions and, like, okay, Anna, now we walk, it's through this like forest and it's really dark. Let's just label it excitement. Or maybe first, like, okay, you're nervous, and then I can transition into, like, oh, it's kind of exciting to walk here in the forest. I'm like, oh, what's that? And making it into like an adventure. So that's a really good advice. If you feel nervous about doing something or even afraid, try to see if you can look at it in a different angle. And you may need to first strip away some fear of failure. That can be like a wound, and that's also a different subject we can discuss, why we fear certain things, because fear is always false evidence appearing real. So fear is not a real thing. Fear is something we have learned, and it doesn't help us. And how does it feel? We didn't live, like, how does fear and excitement and nervousness feel? It feels like sweaty hands, right? Cold, sweaty, like a lot of energy moving. Beating heart, which means like, oh, this is like the heart is full on and the heart is with you. It can feel like a lot of emotions in your belly. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of energy moving throughout your system. And you can also play with directing, because that energy is supposed to be directed towards what you are about to do and not kept in your body. So that's another thing you can play with. If you get really nervous and like red in your face and heart beating when you're about to do something that matters to you, don't try to push that away. You need to allow the red face and the heart beating, because you need to allow it to get out. And the best thing is when you can direct all the energy into what you are doing. So then you don't need to get the red face. So when the paradox is like, when you allow yourself to feel nervous and get the reactions, they are most likely to just come up and dissolve. They won't stay there when you allow them. You can ask questions and give your own advice. Of course, we will not go through every single emotion because there are so many. But we will also go through worry. And how does that feel, like worrying, if you go into that emotion? Like, it's heavy, it's like paralyzing, it feels in the body heavy, cold, it's like heavy around your heart, it's like a protective shield showing up. It feels really stuck, like all the chakras, the whole energetic body feels really in freeze. So I would translate worry into lack of trust. You're about to do something and you're worrying that something bad is going to happen. you let your children go to a festival and you are worrying that something's gonna happen. So you don't trust the festival, you don't trust other people, you do not trust your children maybe in this situation. And of course worrying can be accurate and healthy. It can be a warning sign. But most of the time we need to use our discrimination ability to see if this is a healthy kind of worry or if it's only lack of trust. If it's a lack of trust, then it means that you have a wound someplace in your body. There's somewhere in your life or previous life where you lost trust in life. Because the natural thing for humans is to be, maybe not for mammals, so we have this like suspicion, and we have in our, like I discussed with a friend yesterday that is really good and understanding the nervous system, and she discussed racism, like being afraid of people with only because they have another skin color. And she grew up in America and it has been really present for her. And what she discovered and feels is true is that we cannot just say like, don't be a racist, like contain yourself. We need to go deeper because it's actually in the nervous system, like it's from generations back, we created this fear towards other people that didn't feel like our tribe. And we have this fear still in our nervous system, which is really scary. And also when we can see it that way, the people are not just stupid, they are reacting unconsciously on something that is like not accurate anymore. It's an old programming in our system that we need to heal. So it's the same thing like with all kind of worrying. It could of course be like a warning, like if you're very intuitive or you feel like this doesn't feel good. We have that ability to feel if something feels off, and that's important to listen to. But if it's like you're worrying about something that you shouldn't worry about or that you cannot do anything about, it's probably something, a memory in your body, like somewhere you lose trust in life, that you need to heal. I hope it makes sense. Ask questions and think for yourself. I don't want to deliver answers. The best thing I can do is to make you think for yourself. So when you feel an emotion, try to discover, how does that feel? What does that mean to me? This is only what I feel. It's from my perspective. It's not the only one. And more nice experience emotions is happiness. When we feel happy, blissful, like full of life, that means, how does it feel first of all? It feels expansive, it feels light, it feels like warm or perfect temperature. It feels sattvic, if we should use like a yogic term. It feels complete, it feels whole. And why? When you feel happiness, it says, your body says, this is who I am. This is a place and environment and a way of being that feels home to me. This is who I am. So when you feel happy, it's your soul telling you, like, this is who you are, and try to create more of these kind of circumstances. If it's like being in nature makes you feel happy, it's your body like, yeah, I recognize this, I'm part of this, this is who I am. Or if making art makes you happy, then make more art, because that is who you are, that's one of your expressions from your soul. If singing makes you feel happy, that's because, and actually most people, everyone has a voice, so most people feel really happy from singing, creating, because that's a natural expression from our soul. Dancing, moving, but it can be different ways of doing it. For some people, it makes you feel so happy from helping people. You can feel so happy from like counting on things and getting it right. So it gives you clues on what you're supposed to do, who you are. So the interesting thing, like things that make you feel really happy, it's not really the same things maybe that makes you feel comfortable. It's usually those things that can make you first feel really nervous, but then when you do it, you feel happy. So oftentimes we need to stretch what we think we are and stretch what we think we can handle before we can reach into more happiness. So it's not the same thing as staying in your comfort zone, where we want to have more and more comfort and feel secure. Following your excitement and your happiness is like very related to, excitement, happiness. Like we need to get rid of fear and be able to crack the walls and like just dive in, fly, like jump to be able to fly, and then we can feel our true happiness. 2 more emotions. So 2 emotions that are kind of the different sides of the same coin is love and sadness. Most times we hear like love and compassion. That's really like the same side of the coin. So if we have this like ability to feel like love feels, and also sadness and compassion feels expansive in the heart. It feels connected to your eyes and your tears. For me, it feels really much like heart opening and lifting up and maybe out through your eyes, maybe through the ears, like this. It usually feels warm, and it feels intimate, connecting. It feels really intimate. So for example, if you look at a beautiful sunset and you feel your heart like, you feel this like emotion of love, and maybe like the beauty makes you want to cry and you don't know if you're happy or sad, then you at the same time, if that emotion is brought up in you from watching the sunset, it means you feel really connected to the sun. You feel you and the sun are one. It's the same thing if another person tells you something about themselves, and it brings tears to your eyes and you feel their story, even though it can be like a sad story or a beautiful, happy story. You feel connected to that person. So our heart chakra is like it's like the nervous system being able to reaching out to another heart, like connect, like in Avatar when they connect with the tails, like that kind of thing. We can connect with anything that exists in this universe, because once we all like it's scientifically proved that atoms that has been connected, when they are separated, doesn't matter the distance, they can still interact. They still feel each other. And our entire universe was once just like a green pea. before the Big Bang. Now I feel stupid because I don't know if it's a galaxy or the universe. Need to Google, or you need to let me know. But once, at least, our galaxy was once the size of a green pea. The scientists, it's like what they think now, but it's always evolving. Science is like the most, it's always changing. And then it exploded, separated, expanded. So it means we can still connect to a faraway star. We can still connect with the sun, we can still connect with other planets. And we can definitely connect with like the nature, with other people, with animals. And now I get off topic. So love and sadness is very connected, has to do with intimacy, your heart is expanding. And when you feel really sad, see if you can, and it's also something in between that is beauty, intimacy and beauty. So if you feel sad, if you grieve, see if you can see the beauty in the grief and the love, and the other side of the coin being really present. It's love that you feel, a lot of love. And that's beautiful. There's nothing you need to push away in that. So when we say like we need to live with sorrow and grief, it's actually not a bad thing to live with. It keeps your heart more expanded. Now I get tears. It's a nice place to live from. Of course, we cannot it's different. Like, I need to honestly say that in my life, I haven't had like that kind of like, but we all have it. But if you lose a child or a husband, I cannot really relate to that, except I can feel how it would feel. Or wife, or mom, or dad. So of course it has different stages, but it's also, yeah, it comes from love. If you wouldn't love, you wouldn't feel those kind of emotions. So try to go into beauty, try to appreciate what you feel and the connection you had with that person or have with that person, for example. Last emotion, which is connected to, so it's actually a part, so it's an extension of the fear, nervousness, excitement, and that's stress. So I also want to put stress in that category because it's important to see that stress, it can come from two ways. It can be something you do not choose. Now my cat is coming. It can be something that you do not choose, a situation. Cat is moving the camera. So if it's stress, like you have no option but being at your current workplace and you have colleagues arguing or giving you a hard time or a boss that asks you, demands of you more than you can handle. Bosse! Naughty cat. Then it's a stress that it's maybe harder to trying to find a way to describe it, like feeling responsible for, because the other way I wanted to put it, like if you see that, for example, for me it's very common, like almost all the stress I experience is self-created, because I get really excited about something and I really want to do it, and it's a combination of being excited and also lack of trust. It came out. So you feel excited, but you think that you need to do more than you have to. You're not trusting that the universe got your back and that everything will unfold the way it should. So you're not giving you pauses in between. You do a little bit too much all the time. So that's one kind of stress, and that we need to see, that we impose it on ourselves and we are not trusting the process, and we're not really intuitively feeling what you actually need to do and when you need to rest. And then it's that kind of stress. You are in a situation that you cannot really control, and it's the lack of control kind of stress. But most people, I'm not saying everyone, but most people still have the option. You can quit that job. You can take that discussion with your colleague. You can create a different morning routine so you don't have to yell at your children or feel really stressed every morning. There are things you can do. You can ask for help. So with stress, we need to take more responsibility and prioritize to feel good, to feel that we do a lot when we rest. That is important for ourselves, for our families, for our environment, for our workplace, for the universe, and for humanity. We need to collectively prioritize the more feminine, fluid, like, I don't care, I need to rest energy, instead of that, like, feminine and masculine energy has nothing to do with male and female. We all have both. But the masculine energy that has ruled and is about to crumble down for a new kind of society is very much like doing, acting, moving forward, expanding, do not stop. Kind of energy. Okay. Lots of mental energy now. And what does stress feel like before we do the meditation? It feels like, please write what you think it feels like. It feels like trying to move faster than you are able to. So you have this like picture of like, I think it feels like walking and walking but not getting anywhere. Kind of like you always want to get faster, and that feels paralyzing. It feels like you're not controlling it feels like lack of control, lack of trust, and your heart is like and your nervous system is like trying to catch up. It's survival mode. There is so much to read, and I think most of you know a lot about stress and how it works. So many flies still here. Time for meditation. Or ask questions. Time to spray. And to find a comfortable seated position. And relax. Close your eyes. And Feel your body. Feel your entire body. And feel your connection to the ground below. And feel gravity pulling you down, and the ground, the floor, the couch is holding you. So you can just relax, release, fall down to the ground, to the support. Take a couple of breaths into your womb space, your hara for men, your pelvis area, your lower abdominal. Breathe in and out through your nose and feel your lower belly, your pelvis, your hips, your tailbone. Feel that area expanding out like a balloon, or out, out, out in infinity. When you inhale and exhale, feel it shrinking. And root down. Find your inner seat in your lower chakras. And from your tailbone, imagine a tail or just light or energy connecting down deep into earth from your tailbone, like this avatar tail. Connect down, down, down with your tail, from your tailbone, as far down as feels comfortable, as feels natural for you today. It can be 1 meter down or 100 meters or the center of the earth. Connect down. And breathe. Feel the connection with the very ground you sit upon. The very dirt below your house, where you are right now. Keep this feeling of connection down, the feeling of expansion in your pelvis, and move your attention to your heart space, your thymus gland. If you want, you can place your hand on your heart and direct your breaths to your heart. And feel your heart. And feel the emotions of love located around your heart chakra. Which are the emotions of your soul, the emotions, the blueprint of the universe, love. Feel love. Maybe it's present for you today as sadness, as compassion, as joy, as laughter, as beauty, or just love. And now we will play with emotions, because we can also generate and create emotions from scratch. So feel into your heart and imagine something really beautiful to you. The face of a child, of your child maybe. The sensation of the soft fur of an animal. A beautiful moment you remember. Or maybe just right now, the beauty of right now. Feel the feeling of beauty and let it fill your heart. Feel beauty. How does that feel? Now, allow yourself to safely transition into sadness. A beautiful kind of sadness when you don't label it as bad. It's the same heart-based emotion. So maybe you can feel a kind of compassionate sadness for yourself as a child. A moment, a memory from your childhood where no one was there for you maybe. And the sadness you feel for yourself as a child for a certain thing. Or the sadness for people in the world that suffer. You can safely feel that sadness because that's love for those people. Feeling love for those people. Feeling intimacy with those people. Or you can just let sadness open your heart like a crack in the shield around the heart. And explore the feeling sadness. And then feel love. Exciting love. Maybe you remember how it felt to be in love, or maybe you are in love. You can feel in love with yourself right now. You can be in love with a project. You can be in love with an animal, a person. Feel the feeling of being in love. A strong heart-based emotion. An emotion of attraction that pulls the thing you feel in love with towards you. And you towards it. A project, a person, a place. Feel in love with someone or something or yourself. It's a really good practice to feel in love with yourself. Or just feel in love. Just find the raw emotion. And feel how your face is changing, your body relaxing. And from this space we add excitement. Add the touch of excitement to this feeling. Whew. Let your face smile. Allow yourself to feel excited the way you did as a child. Oftentimes we strip the excitement away from the children, like not being too much, not being too happy, not being too excited. That will never work. Let go of that and just allow yourself to feel excited. Fully in love, fully aligned. Feel how that feels in your body. Feel the excitement. And maybe you can already hear and experience the feeling of doubt, the feeling of worrying, or maybe the feeling of fear. We do not go deep into those emotions right now. Just observe them. So try to keep your feeling of excitement, your feeling of an open heart. And if you hear like, oh, that's too much, you will never be able to do that. Oh, this is silly. What are you doing? This meditation is kind of strange. Just acknowledge those feelings, those emotions as wounds. They are not who you are. They are expressions of what you are not. Expressions for fear of your light. Stay in your heart. Give yourself the permission to be in love, to be you, to be excited. And let this feeling in your heart, maybe you want to stay in the excited space, or the feeling of beauty, or the feeling of neutrality. Let's go there. Let's go into neutrality. So go deep into your heart, the way we did last week, and try to find the stillness in your heart. The unmoving, quiet stillness. The sensation that arrives between every breath, between every heartbeat. The neutral stillness that is still love. It's still who you are. A blank sea, a clear sky, vast space. Feel how your heart space is expanding, like the clear sky, the vast space, the deep ocean. And feel how this sensation expands out from your heart and fills your body, so that your entire body feels vast, still, neutral. And let it expand like a bubble outwards and cover you. Like your heart is expanding, filling your body and surrounds your body. find yourself being absorbed by stillness, by neutrality. The quiet aspect of love, which all other emotions are painted, experienced upon. The stillness that is the potential for new life, new creations, like the womb, the space. Put your attention to your eyelids, your eyes. To your nostrils. And start to breathe deeper breaths. In and out through your nose and blow life into your body. Come back, feel your skin, feel the floor or the ground below. Feel the air in the room you are in. And slowly come back to this present moment as you and feel how it feels to be you. So please take a moment once again to write how you experience this. And I see you on Tuesday. Much love from me to you. I'm so happy that you joined me.